Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I am located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but our clients are anywhere in the United States. They literally are from coast to coast, and I only practice immigration law. So our firm only does immigration law, but we do pretty much everything under immigration law. So we help companies sponsor individuals. We help individuals get status if they entered without status, or if they came in with a visa and that now they're no longer in status. We help sponsor family members. So there's many ways to obtain a green card. There's many ways to get a work permit. And so we help both employers sponsoring others and individuals as well with their immigration issues. We're streaming on both Facebook and on TikTok. So if you somehow lose me on one, please feel free to join on the other platform. And today is really an opportunity, if you haven't joined me before, to ask your immigration questions, right? So again, I'm here. I'm going to answer all of your immigration questions. And if you have any, feel free to ask them here. If you'd like to call our office and schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. We're doing them by Zoom or by phone right now, and in some cases in person, but really I prefer just because of COVID to do them either by Zoom or on the phone. And that will be kind of like this, right? But it'll just be you and me, and we'll be talking about your specific immigration case. And it'll give me an opportunity to go over how you entered and maybe how you lost status and all of the options that might be available to you based on your experience. Anyway, I want to say, feel free to, if you're on and you're watching, you want to pop your question into the chat, feel free. Just know, obviously, that's not privileged or confidential since we have a few other people joining as well. But if you want to talk about your specific case, go ahead and give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. Hi, Yvette. Hi, Raymond or Ramon. Hi, wait for it. I like that. Hi, Gur. Great. So if you want to go ahead and type your question in, I would love to answer it for you. I'm going to start with some that we get pretty often with our current clients and people that call our office and ask some questions. So one of them is, well, I'm waiting for you guys to type your questions in. One of them is, what if you have a child who is 21? Hi, Dilden. I'm doing well. He says, how are you doing, madam? It makes me feel kind of old, but I'm no spring chicken, that's for sure. Anyway, nice to see you. Feel free to go ahead and type your question in. So one of the questions we get often is, if you have a child who is 21 or over and they're a U.S. citizen, but you don't have status. If you have a child 21 or over who is a U.S. citizen and you don't have status, what can happen if they won't sponsor you? Let's say they are taking advantage of the fact that you don't have status. Let's say you worked really hard to get them where they are, but now things aren't good between you and your child, right? So what can you do? Do you have options? So you do. So many people don't know that this is an option. So if you have a U.S. citizen child who is 21 or over, you can still petition for yourself based on this U.S. citizen child, right? So if you are the parent of a U.S. citizen child, I'm saying child, but basically they have to be 21 or over, and even if you entered without papers, or even if you came in on a visa and that visa expired, you would still qualify potentially to receive a green card. So what would happen then, once we file the application, within 6 to 8 months, you will get work authorization and travel authorization, which means if you haven't visited your home in many, many years, in some cases, many people entered illegally and they've been here afraid to leave, and they've left family back home. You've left your own parents back home. You've left brothers and sisters back home, and you want to visit them. If you have a child who is 21 or over, who is a U.S. citizen, you can apply for a green card. Call us and see if you're eligible. If you're eligible, once you apply, you would get work authorization in 6 to 8 months. You would get travel authorization also in 6 to 8 months, which means you can leave and visit family while your green card application is pending. Obviously, with COVID travel right now, you may want to double check that whether you want to go travel abroad at any point, right? Just because of the risk of the virus, but you would have the opportunity to if you needed to. And then in 2 to 2.5 years, you would get a green card. So it's a great opportunity for you if you do have a child who is 21 or over and a US citizen. Even if you entered illegally, we would be able to help you potentially get work authorization and also travel authorization and eventually a green card in 2 to 2.5 years. So that is, if you or someone you know is in that situation, they should definitely reach out to us or seek some legal advice. Just because you have options, you don't have to live in a way where you're hiding from the authorities, where you feel stressed or unstable because you don't have status, right? If you have a child who is a US citizen, there is likely a way for you to also get status, even if they won't help you. All right, so call our office if you or someone you know could use that help. We're at 703-348-1663. One user six is asking, joint files, what about documents for children? My son is in India, not here. So if you're commenting on what I just said about a child who is a US citizen who's 21 or over, you can really, if your child, even if they're a US citizen and they're in India, it's possible for you to apply for your own green card as well. But your child would still have to be a US citizen who's 21 or over. So I'm not sure what your question is, but if you're trying to sponsor for your child in India, yeah, you can do that if you're a green card holder or a US citizen. If we can help you with that, call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. Hi, Asha. Hi, Rabin. Hi, Sunny. Sunny is our one of our frequent followers. Nice to see you. I hope you had a good Friday. Hi, Hardeep. So user 6, sorry, I don't know what your name is, says, I'm married to a US citizen and my fingerprints are also finished. Okay. You had said your son is in India, joint files, what about documents for children? All right, well, I mean, if you're married to a US citizen, your child might qualify as a stepchild if your child is in India or somewhere else. Sorry, did you say your child is in India? I think you did. They might qualify as your stepchild. So if you're married to a US citizen, your child would need their own separate application as a stepchild. Otherwise, you could your spouse could sponsor them themselves, but I mean, it's complicated with children that are over 21. But if they're under 21, your spouse could sponsor them separately, so they would need their own separate application. Okay. Rabin says, hello, madam, what state are you in? I am located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. But this is important to know. We help clients all throughout the United States. So immigration, this is, some people might not know this, immigration is considered a federal practice. And that means that as long as your attorney is licensed and in good standing in one state in the United States, we can help people anywhere in the U.S. So our clients are all over the place. They're, from California to Washington State to Texas to, I don't know, everywhere, Colorado, Illinois, literally everywhere. So we can help you if you think we might be the right fit for you, or if you want to talk to me about your immigration case, we can still help you no matter where you're located. You could be international, or you could be anywhere in the U.S. As long as you have an immigration issue, I would love to help you and talk to you about it. Okay. Feel free to call our office if I can schedule a consultation for you. We're at 703-348-1663. User 6 again. So now me apply. Great. So you can apply for your spouse can also apply for your kids. Ranjit says hello. Hi, Ranjit. You said right now I'm under the process. Okay. Shafi says I was adopted Can I sponsor my biological mother? That is a really good question. That's a really good question. It's one of those questions, that they put in these law school exams that make things a little bit more complicated. But we've had clients in the same exact situation. So if you were adopted, you can sponsor your biological mother as long as your adopted parents did not obtain some kind of benefit from you as well, some kind of immigration benefit. So you can't, if you were adopted and you're a US citizen, let's say, you can't sponsor your adopted parents and your biological parents. So that's the general rule. There's different ways and different complications involved. So I would say, make sure that you talk to a lawyer if you're looking at the situation, especially if there's any claim that your adopted parents got some kind of immigration benefit from you. Okay, if they didn't, you should generally be okay to sponsor your biological mother. But that is a really good question. It's interesting. It's an interesting scenario, and it doesn't come up that often. But that is the current immigration law. All right, user 6 says, what documents do I need? It's really just, I'm not sure exactly what, you said you're married to a US citizen and you finished your fingerprints to sponsor your kids. Just the birth certificate and the marriage certificate, the biographic documents for the kids, just we can help you. Why don't you call our office? We're at 703-348-1663. We can I just don't know it off the top of my head, but we have a list. So once you sign on with us, we'll give you a list of documents that we need from you. And you can either send it to our office, email it to us, or upload it to our case management site. And we pull everything from there and put your whole application together so you don't have to stress about it. You don't have to wonder if you did it right. We know what we're doing. We do green cards all the time. So if we can help you and take that stress off of you and the burden off of you, we would be happy to help you through it. Okay, we're at 703-348-1663. Someone said, no, they did not. I'm not sure what that question is. Okay, so Shafi, you're saying that your adoptive parents, there's no claim. Then you should be able to. Yes, you should be able to. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Bobby on Facebook is saying, what happens if you sit for an interview and your wife wants to divorce and immigration hasn't yet responded to the interview? So if your wife sponsored you for a green card, what they're looking at really is to see if you had a bona fide marriage. So did that marriage happen just for immigration purposes or not, right? So they want to see that you didn't enter into the marriage just for immigration purposes. So that's what they're looking for in the interview. So if you're no longer getting along with your wife and your wife wants to separate, or you want to get divorced, or you're in the process of getting divorced. So before you go to the interview even, I would say you should convert that to a self-petition. So that's what I would advise. So instead of doing a joint filing, you can try to do a self-petition where essentially you show that same thing, that my marriage was not just for immigration purposes. So we have, your statement, we have documents showing your photos together, your joint, accounts, your joint lease, your different documents showing how you've commingled, and that essentially says your marriage was not just for immigration purposes. So, once either way, you're going to have to show that, but at least you don't have to depend on your spouse to help make that. You don't want your spouse to sabotage your interview if you are not getting along, right? Like if you're not having a good day, you don't want to be in a situation where your spouse is going to sabotage your interview. So if you go in and you can still show that your marriage was not just for immigration purposes, there's a chance that it might get approved, right? But if you've been married less than 2 years, you get a green card that is just for 2 years, and then you have to show at the end of 2 years that your marriage was not just for immigration purposes. So it could be problematic if you and your spouse aren't getting along, because how are you going to show that? Like you need your spouse's cooperation at that point, right? But there is another method for people in this exact situation. right? There is a method for people in this situation where you are, being sponsored by your spouse on a family-based green card, but now your spouse is wanting to get a divorce. Your marriage is not going as well as you would have liked. Your spouse is not the person you thought they were going to be. Your life is really difficult, and you're just staying in it for immigration purposes. So you don't have to do that, right? There's a whole process just to avoid this situation where you don't have to stick around with your spouse that's making it difficult for you just to get your green card. So there's a different process for that. You still apply, but it's a self-petition. You show that your marriage was not just for immigration purposes, and that you are either separating, divorced, or are the victim of abuse. And that abuse doesn't necessarily have to be what one would imagine as abuse, like physical abuse. It doesn't always have to be physical abuse. It could be emotional abuse, which is often present, which is present in many different cases. So emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, even. So there's a lot of different ways to show that you've been a victim of abuse, and that would help you qualify for your own green card, and you wouldn't need your spouse's help. So if you are in the situation and we can help you, give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. All right, guys, it's Friday and my family has ordered dinner and I need to go because it was just delivered, but I had a nice time to see you guys and answer your questions. If we can help you, please feel free to call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. We are actually open on Monday. I know many people and many offices are closed for President's Day, but we are actually open. And if you would like to schedule a consultation, if you have time, give our office a call and we will get you on the calendar for Monday or any other time this week. I'd love to talk with you. Have a wonderful weekend and I will talk to you soon. Bye.